Oh man. Oh man. Oh, I'm tired. Hello, everybody. It's your boy, and it's today's video message from my friend Lilla, a friend of mine who lives around and around the world. While I'm lying and lonely, while I live in Oklahoma, as no doubt, I'm sure you can tell. I'm very tired. I'm exhausted. I haven't slept in many hours. And I've been up all night and all morning and making a pit stop here to record this message. I can't even think straight right now. So, Lilla, if you're watching this, know that sorry I wasn't around much lately. Just know that I'm thinking about you all the time. Even when I'm sleepy, like I am right now. And I don't feel very good either. Physically, I feel like shit. Not just from the exhaustion and the lack of sleep, but just because I don't know, I ate something or something. My stomach's really torn up right now. So yeah, after I record this and upload it, I'm gonna go straight home and go to bed. Fortunately, I'm only 20 minutes away from here, so I don't have far to drive to get to bed. Usually I have some idea what I'm going to talk about before I hit record, but nothing today. I'm a blank. I'm too tired to think of subjects for videos right now. Not much going on. My life is about the same. Nothing to report in that front. There's way too much shit to get into about topical political stuff. I don't even know where to begin to discuss all that. So that rules that out. I started listening to the audio version of a Lawrence Block novel called Time to Murder and Create. It's very good. I like Lawrence Block. Everything he writes is very good. He writes mysteries, and he writes several series starring different characters. His most famous is a series starring a detective named Matt Scudder, and he's also written a lighthearted series about a burglar named Bernie something, Rodenmayer or something like that. I've read a couple of those. They're pretty funny. And he wrote a series about a hitman. That sounds pretty interesting. I've never read it, but that sounds cool. And he's written a lot of other things. He's a very prolific writer, and he's been around for a while. But Lawrence Block gets my seal of approval. I'm a big fan. He also wrote a very good collection of short stories called Catch and Release that I read earlier this year. It was very good. I've been trying to catch up on reading. I've kind of hit a slump recently, to where I was not reading as much, and now I'm trying to catch up and read a lot more often. And it's so tired, I can barely hold my eyes open. Hang on. Oh, that's better. The sun's so bright right now on my weary eyes. Actually, I feel so much better. I have a headache now from lack of these sunglasses. I've grown to where I can't go outside in the daytime without these sunglasses. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm a wreck right now. I hope you're doing okay, Lilla. I know that you got a lot of stuff going on, and I know that you're dealing with all that right now. And I'm proud of you for dealing with it as well as you have, and staying as strong as you have. And just know that I'm rooting for you, and you have my support in anything you decide to do. And just know that no matter what happens, I got your back. You're an amazing person and an amazing friend and such a unique, beautiful soul. People should be writing songs about you. Books should be written about your life. You're just so great. And I'm so tired. I feel like I'm on drugs right now. I've never taken drugs, but this is what I imagine being on them feels like. I feel very lightheaded, kind of giddy. I feel sluggish and stupid. Like I can't think right now. And I'm at that stage of sleep deprivation where everything's funny, and I'm cracking up just thinking about stupid shit that normally wouldn't make me laugh. Like I just thought of a bunch of stupid shit as I said that, and it's a lot. I feel it though. I feel exhausted in my bones. And I'm so tired. I'm seeing things peripherally, like that aren't there. Like I think I see somebody walking by or something, and they're not there. It's just me, and the sun beaming in from this direction, right at an angle about that much. I think that's a 45-degree angle, I believe. I can't remember my geometric angles and shit. I don't know what else to say except I'm just exhausted, and I hope that you're doing okay. And I still miss you. In all seriousness, I do miss you very much, and I hope you're doing okay. And I hope you know that you can always turn to me no matter what's going on, no matter what's happening in your life. You can always come to me about it and talk to me. Just like I know that I can always talk to you. And if I were a religious person, I would be praying for you constantly, for God or whatever cosmic higher power, entity, force I believed in to guide you and protect you through the day. And much as I like the idea of some benevolent higher force that's looking out for us, I know it's not real. But it's a nice idea, at least. It's a nice thought. I'm so tired. Well, not much else to say, I guess. I started listening to a lot of country and folk music recently. That's something new, I guess, but that's not really that interesting. But there's a lot of good indie artists out there doing country music that actually sounds like country music, as opposed to the bullshit they play on the mainstream radio. And the bullshit that gets popular that they call country music, that's really just pop music sung with a Nashville twang. It sounds like ass. There's a lot of artists, a lot of indie people, a lot of independent guys out there and gals making true country music that sounds actually like country music. And there's a lot of great people doing folk music too, either in a contemporary way or in a more straightforward kind of way that's really, really good. I've always been a big fan of folk music or folk variants of things like folk rock, folk punk, folk jazz, all that stuff. Any kind of folk variation on something I've always been a big fan of. I actually do like country music. I don't like the contemporary pop music that's calling itself country that's in the mainstream. If it's a mainstream big name artist that's putting out albums now, I don't like them. If there's some indie songwriter actually doing country music, then I like them. That's not to say I don't like the big names of the past. artists like Merle Haggard and Hank Williams, who were fantastic and actually played country and pioneered the genre. I'm a big fan of that. I love old school country. I just don't like how mainstream country now is just garbage. But I'm glad there are people. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. I'm glad there are. Oh, fuck. I'm belching like. Oh. Sorry. I'm glad there are people that are keeping it going and keeping the actual like spirit of country music alive. And then that's not to say I'm against people updating it or trying different things in it. That's not to say that at all. I'm totally in favor of like blending country with other sounds, blending country with hip hop or rock or other things. And there are artists that do it well. There are some contemporary people I like that do it well, that are a little more mainstream. But generally speaking, I just don't like the sound of modern country. It just sounds very bland and soulless. It just sounds like it sounds like bland, soulless pop music. The same kind of music that's obviously written to make huge amounts of cash with no actual like soul, no actual like story to tell, no actual emotions being expressed. And I hate any kind of music like that. I fucking hate music that's made purely for the purpose of commerce. That's made purely for the purpose of making money. Made purely for the purpose of getting like Billboard, attention and lots of like cash. Anything that to me sounds like it was obviously written just to like sell out and make money, I disdain it. Fuck that shit. I really hate that kind of shit. I really hate any kind of like soulless commercial bullshit music like that. Whether it's top 40 bullshit or country trying to be pop bullshit or hip hop or whatever, or even or rock bands. There's a lot of sellout bands that to me purely exist just to make money. And these type of things have always been around, but I just don't like it. I don't know. Just that's kind of my 2 cents on it. But that's not to say I dislike all mainstream, like modern country music. That's not the case. I do like Carrie Musgraves, and I like certain songs by people like I can't even think. Maren Morris, I think is her name. She's a really good singer, and I like her songs. If you want to consider a little Nas X country with Old Town Road, then yes, very much. It's a great country hip hop song that I really like, and I can completely understand why it exploded and dethroned everybody on the pop scene for a while. I get that. And going back a little bit to going back a few years, I liked some, not all, but some. I liked some of Taylor Swift's country music when she first started. It was more on the pop side of it, but I didn't mind it. I mean, country pop, to me, if it sounds good and it's obviously written with something to say, it's just, sounds just as good as to me as country rock or country hip hop or, anything in between. A lot of artists I like have played country and blended it with other sounds too. like Joe Ellie kind of took a kind of a rock and roll approach to country music that I really like. Um, I really like I really like Red Dirt, which is like, you know, kind of a country rock genre. It sounds really good, like the Randy Rogers Band and Pat Green and people like that. And I like that stuff. I like Alison Krauss a lot, who has kind of like a bluegrass influence. You know, the stuff she's done with Robert Plant is very good. You know, there's also a particular song I really like that's came out a few years ago. I think last year or maybe a year or two before, by Tim McGraw. And I'm not usually a fan of Tim McGraw, but I really like this particular song, and it's a mainstream country song. And it actually does sound very much like a classic country song. It's called Just to See You Smile, and I think it's a very, very good track. It's very sad, very emotional. The lyrics hit me in the heart. And it has that kind of old school, like Nashville country sound. And I really like that song, and that was a popular song. Like, that was on the radio. You know, and there's other people that have come out in, you know, recent years that have achieved mainstream success that I like, that I do think do good country music. So I'm not saying all of modern country music is bad. I'm just saying there is a lot of it that I don't like. But there is some I do. And there's a lot of indie country and folk people I really like a lot too. There's a great modern folk duo called Mandolin Orange that are very good. It's a man and a woman who write and perform very, very fantastic music, very soulful, very kind of bluegrass tinged, very like mellow, very much based in ballads. And it's just very, very good music. They're a great duo, and they've put out a lot of albums, and they're all worth listening to. So yeah, I mean, you know, just, you know, I like stuff like that, you know, give me more of that and less Florida Georgia Line, please. Like, I never did care for them, so yeah, you know, and like I said, I like the classics, you know, I love George Jones, and I love Hank Williams, and I love Merle Haggard, I love Dolly Parton, and I love Loretta Lynn, and I love Patsy Cline, and I love Willie Nelson, and Johnny Cash, obviously, like all the like huge legends of country music were all great. Conway Twitty was great, you know, and you know, Mel Tillis was great, you know, and who else? Ronnie Millsap, oh my God. I love Ronnie Millsap. He was so good. Such a good singer. Yeah. Had solid tunes. Like Stranger in My House. Good God, y'all. That is a great song. Or, you know, Smoky Mountain Rain on the River. Like, yes. Oh my God. Who doesn't love that? And George Strait was great. Had a lot of great songs back in the day. Alan Jackson had some good songs. Also does good gospel music as well, which I'm a big fan of old-timey gospel music. Who else, man? So many good artists. You know, Trisha Yearwood's good. Who else? Oh, Emmylou Harris. Emmylou Harris is a fantastic singer and a fantastic songwriter. She's always been good. I mean, from the get-go. Her album Pieces of the Sky, classic. And then Graham Parsons, who she did a lot of work with. He did a lot of great country music in the 70s as well. And he also was in a great band called the Flying Burrito Brothers. that are like a country rock kind of band, and they were good too. And once we get into the country rock kind of sound, there's a lot of bands and artists I like in that. One of my favorites is a country rock guy named William Matheny, who put out an album called Strange Constellations that I love. I've been listening to that album since it came out in 2017, and I still listen to that album regularly. Like, Strange Constellations is like in frequent like replay with me. I love that album. It's one of like my very favorite like country rock albums, and it's so diverse. There's some quiet, thoughtful songs. There's some outright like barnstormers on that album. So good, and he has a great voice. He's a talented musician, and he's a killer songwriter. Like the little details and like the honesty of like when he talks about things like relationships, life, his past, whether it's fictional or not, I don't know, but just he sings with true honesty. It sounds like he's actually lived all the things he's talking about, and it's so good. Just a very underrated, great indie country rock album. I even did a video on it, I think, a long time ago, which I think it's still probably on this channel somewhere. I don't think I ever like deleted any of my early vlogs and stuff. I deleted some old music I had on here that wasn't very good, but I think I left all my old like original vlog videos up. So you should probably find my review of Strange Constellations on this channel. But yeah, check out Strange Constellations. Like, if you don't listen to anything else, even remotely country related, check that album out. William Matheny deserves all the attention. In a sane world, he would be winning Grammys. But anyway, I guess that's kind of my spiel, talking about that side of my music interest, which I don't usually talk about much. I like it a lot, and I listen to that stuff fairly regularly. I just don't talk about it as much as I do like hip-hop or jazz or rock or other stuff that I listen to. But I listen to country and folk and bluegrass stuff regularly too. So anyways, I'm going to get off here, let y'all go about your day. I'm going to drive home and get some sleep. So, Lilla, if you're watching this, thanks for listening to me ramble on, and I will talk to you the next time. Take care.